Well, welcome everybody. It looks like our count is up to over 60 now. Welcome to the sampling and curation session of the Lunar Surface Science Workshop. Your session moderators for today are Julie Mitchell, the curator of Ices and Organics and the Artemis Curation lead at Johnson Space Center, and me, Brad Jolliff, from Washington University in St. Louis. You can see on the right side of the slide that's projecting the NASA Organizing Committee. And with us today, we have Sarah Noble, who I'll invite to say a few words when I finish this introduction. Next slide, please. So our agenda is posted at this very long URL, but if you just Google Lunar Surface Science Workshop, you'll find it. And I hope you do get it because it's jam-packed. We have a lot of rapid succession talks that'll be going on. And today we'll be addressing the collection of samples on the moon and the curation needs for samples collected by Artemis. This follows the presentations yesterday of volatiles, which are a key science and exploration target for the Artemis missions at the moon's south pole. So we'll be addressing questions such as, what big picture science questions can samples help to answer? What are the high priority samples and how should they be collected? Are there special samples that we want to collect? How to deal with contamination issues, and how should we curate the samples, and which samples will require non-standard or new ways of curation. So our aim here is to get a wide range of input from different scientific community perspectives and pass it along to mission planners. This is our chance to provide input, and we thank you all for your participation. Next slide, please. As with the first edition of this workshop, there will be opportunities to continue the discussion going forward. There will be a link and recordings of today's presentation sessions will be available. Some rules of engagement. The agenda is very full, talks are short, but we will do our best to address questions. There will be built-in time for questions after each set of talks. The best way to ask a question is to put it in the Q&A, not the chat window. The moderator will attempt to ask the questions when there is time, so please indicate to whom your question should be directed in case we don't get to it until one of the discussion periods. Speakers may also answer questions in the Q&A. Speakers, you'll hear a chime, or well, more likely you'll hear a voice when you have 1 minute remaining in your presentation time. Please, please, please do everything you can to stay on time or very close to it. So thanks in advance to all the presenters and also to the LPI and Survey for facilitating this event. And special thanks to Ricky Guest and Christina Gibbs, who behind the scenes are doing long hours and lots of hard and good work. Thanks also to Kelsey Young, who is helping today and has done much of the work on many aspects of this workshop. Also joining us today are Claire McLeod from Miami of Ohio and Brian Konecki from Johnson Space Center. They'll be assisting with documenting and facilitating the sessions. And thanks also to Deborah Needham, who is helping with slides later today. Next, please. At the end of the presentations, we will have 2 breakout sessions for 1 hour to discuss sampling issues and curation issues. Through the discussion of sampling priorities, sample types, methods, and sample curation for the crewed Artemis missions, we will attempt to generate 2 deliverables, similar to what was done after the first workshop. 1 is a report of our findings, and 2 will be a list of questions, comments, and concerns regarding the sampling and the curation of samples. These will be given to NASA for the science curation and human spaceflight folks to incorporate into mission planning. Some of you may recall an activity like this that we did in 2007 for the Constellation program through a meeting in Tempe, Arizona. We had very similar goals then with respect to the Artemis missions. Next slide, please. So this is a web page where you can find the deliverables as they get put together over the next few weeks. Again, this is on the LSSW website, so you can find this. Next slide, please. And now let me turn it over to Sarah Noble for a few words from our sponsor.
Thank you, Brad. That was a great introduction. And in case you're looking for it, that is the website that Brad was referring to, where the talks will be put, and as well as the deliverable products that we're looking for so you can have an opportunity to provide input on those. I will note that the products from our tools and instruments session back in May are up there now, and we are looking for input. They will be available for another week or so. So please go and check that out and provide us some feedback. We are trying to get feedback from as much of the community as we can. So thank you very much. I also want to note that we are planning to sort of do these sessions like roughly once a month. You can see we did May. In June, we had the survey forum, and here we are in July with our volatiles and samples sessions. We are scheduled for August 20th, save the date, for looking at dust and regolith. In September, there'll be the league meeting. I will note that league abstracts are due tomorrow, so try and get those done while you're watching the talks today. And then in October, we are looking ahead to looking at the value of mobility, which was one of our cross-cutting themes from the original workshop, and is a really important thing for us. That might actually require us to solicit for some new abstracts, so look for some of those announcements to be coming as well. And I will turn it back to Brad. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Sarah.